Once my eyes caught this vehicle at a glance, I couldn't believe it when I saw it right in front of me. So I decided to review it first before the other Hyundai vehicles, which is the all-new 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6. And to dive into more details, it's an electric sedan, which no gasoline is required to drive it whatsoever, so all you have to do is to charge this vehicle from 0 to 100% in around 30 minutes, which makes it one of the quickest charging EV cars around. And this key feature enables it to compete other rivals such as the all-new Kia EV6, the all-new Tesla Model 3, the all-new Mercedes EQE, and the list goes on for more electric vehicles in the same category. But generally speaking, I absolutely love the design of the front fascia, with some pixelated daytime running LEDs, which look so beautiful and unique, along with the hood which looks pretty bold and smooth. And there's also a frunk under the hood where you can store some items in there. Too bad that the frunk is very small, because the front motor is taking most of the engine compartment. Well, you can pause the video to read the details, but the price is incredibly steep. This new Ioniq 6 is the first generation ever from Hyundai, and if you look at the side profile, which looks pretty bold and sleek, and also beautiful and attractive, and not only that, but also looks pretty Germanish with a Porsche DNA, to say the least. You can also pause the video here, so you can read the details on the EV card this time. I really love those sharp corner windows, which I personally prefer them over the rounded corner windows, along with the matte finish C-pillars, making the vehicle look so modern. And I also love this curved slopey roof when it comes to styling, and even this tasteful brushed silver cladding, which adds even more styling impressions. Very nice indeed. Now moving on to the back, which undoubtedly looks exactly like a Porsche, with the same exact looking spoiler and the overall design language. But despite the knockoffs, I absolutely love the 2 rows of horizontal pixelated taillights, which extend the whole back from corner to corner, delivering a unique and beautiful looking style. Not to mention this beautiful Ioniq 6 branding, which embossed inside the taillight housing, delivering a very tasteful impressions to the touch. And I also love these vertical backup reverse lights, which are placed at the corners of the back bumper. Very nice. And as you can see, there's no camera in front of the nameplate. Instead, they decided to place it above the Ioniq 6 branding, right next to the trunk button. But honestly, the design of this back bumper looks pretty modern, with all these tasteful touches. And not only that, but there are also more pixels under this glass cover, which houses a brake light right on top of the spoiler, as you can see here. Personally, I absolutely love the overall back design because it looks pretty dope. But let us know your thoughts about the exterior design as a whole down in the comments, and if you enjoyed watching, please hit the like button and please consider subscribing. Thank you all so much. And now let's see what's inside the trunk, which didn't seem to be big from the outside when you look at it, but once I opened the trunk, I was totally surprised to see how shockingly big and deep it was, which adds more practicality in a small sedan. And not only that, but also there's an extra storage underneath the floor in case if you don't want some small items to be rolling around, and that's an extra bonus of practicality added to the package, but unfortunately, it jeopardizes the benefits of having a spare tire in the trunk, but other than that, it's very nice indeed. And besides having an electric assist trunk button, you can also hover your foot under the back bumper to open or close the trunk as another easier access option. But in the end, the whole exterior design looks pretty amazing so far, as long as Porsche won't sue Hyundai for it, and to be fair, I really love this vehicle with all the sophisticated tech features. The only downside though is the pricing, which is incredibly steep even before the tax fare. Anyway, there's a side camera underneath each mirror for more 360 viewing angles of your surroundings, which is great. But the biggest surprise here is the camera inside the mirror housing for more blind spot visibility instead of having an actual old school mirror. Very nice, but more of that later in this video. Let's see the Pirelli tires now, and the size are 245 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and 20 inches, which I'm glad that my camera was able to pick up the numbers in the very last nanosecond. And I really love the futuristic multi-spoke design with some machine aluminium finish. Very nice indeed. Now let's check out the front seat by starting off with the door panel, which looks, well, pretty unusual to say the least, but beautiful and modern with this tasteful door handle and some horizontal texture design on the door, which makes it look pretty futuristic indeed, but somehow the material feels kinda plasticky though, but it doesn't feel quite cheap at the same time. Anyway, I absolutely love these hidden ambient lights under the door pocket, as well as the soft padded leather material. And I also like this grille looking texture, which there's actually an audio speaker embedded somewhere inside the whole grille trim, adding more style to the interior, which is nice. Not to mention that the door pocket is pretty big, and even this door sill has an Ioniq 6 branding embossed in it, but it would have been more tasteful if this door sill was made of metal plate for a more premium feel into it. But at least, all seats are upholstered with high-quality leather, and also the front seats are fully supported with powered lumbars, which is a big plus. This Ioniq 6 is loaded with high-tech features such as adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning and lane keep assist, and advanced blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and autonomous emergency braking, traction control, and just name a few. And there are also paddle shifters included behind the steering wheel, not to mention this beautiful 12.3 inches all-LED gauge cluster, which looks so crisp and vibrant. But what's new here is the corner displays next to the front A pillars. And if you remember those cameras inside each mirror housing moments ago, well, these corner displays will work exactly like the actual mirrors by capturing the rear view with the housed cameras while driving. Then from there, you can see it all on the corner displays, especially the blind spot areas, which are usually difficult to see in normal mirrors. However though, this is what I meant when I said an advanced blind spot monitoring moments ago. Once my eyes caught my attention at a glance, the second I got inside is the whole dash, which looks, wow, absolutely phenomenal and stunning, especially with this beautiful ambient lighting across the board, very nice indeed. But this door panel doesn't seem to match quite perfectly with the dash, at least in my opinion, but it's okay anyway. But in most cases, this dash is so attractive and feels really good when touching it, especially the upper trim, which feels pretty solid quality. Moving on to the infotainment touch screen, which is measured up to 12.3 inches, considered as an average size in 2024 as modern standards, but it's so crisp and vibrant, and it's pretty bright enough even in bright sunlight, which is a big plus. And not only that, but also the touch screen is so responsive and so intuitive when browsing and navigating, which is pretty convenient. As for the center stack, there's also a dual zone climate controls with some buttons and a knob, along with the keyless start-stop button on the left, and there's also a black touch panel for more command features. And there's also a big phone storage with a USB port and a wireless charging pad. But one thing worth pointing out is that the Ioniq 6 supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Sadly though, it's only wired, which is no wireless connectivity whatsoever, which is a big bummer. However, on the floating center console, there are two cup holders, which aren't something special at all, but what's more interesting here is that they moved all four window switches from the door panels to the center console for more easier reach, and right under it, there's a massive storage for larger items and tablet devices, along with a 12-volt. And also, there's a storage under the armrest, which isn't really wide, but pretty deep I'd say, and there are also two more USB-C ports inside, which is pretty convenient. And even this rear view mirror has an auto dimming feature for more eye protection against high beams coming from behind. And we also have these door and reading lights, which can be turned on by just tapping on them. And let's not forget about the most important feature, and that is the sunroof, which isn't panoramic unfortunately, but at least it's still better than nothing anyway. Now let's jump into the back seat and see what more features we'll get for the money. Continuing on with the back door panel, which looks, well, pretty much the same as the front door panels, with the same plastic and soft leather materials and same ambient lighting, but what's new here is the cutout of small cubby pockets on the door handles, which I forgot to turn my camera onto it so you can see it up close for better details. And there are also big speaker grills on each door, but the only downside is that the door pockets are pretty small unfortunately. But anyway, let us know your thoughts about the overall interior design down in the comments. As you can see here, the back seat is very soft and padded pretty well for more comfortable sitting in long hours. And as you can see here as well, the legroom is incredibly spacious, which is more likely as spacious as a flagship sedan. The only problem, however, is that the gaps under the front seats are so tight and narrow, making it uncomfortable to sit in the back seat. But anyway, there are some items in the back worth mentioning, such as dual AC vents, 2 USB-C ports, and a cubby hole to rest your phone in, and I do love the fact that the floor is completely flat with zero lump whatsoever. And finally, an armrest with 2 cup holders, and that's it. But a quick reminder before I go, it's pretty sad to announce that this is my final car review in the Time Post YouTube channel, because I'm going to travel back to my home country, which is Australia, but someone else will take over from here and continue on with more car reviews. So if you enjoyed my blabbering in the last few years, then be sure to watch and enjoy this final review of mine, and please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And now, let me extend my gratitude by saying, thank you so much everybody for watching all my videos. Please take care of yourselves. Goodbye.